Hillary Clinton has come a long way since she was a Goldwater Republican in 1964. Now she describes herself as well, let's let her tell us.
Just for the record, are you a progressive or are you a moderate?
I'm a progressive.
I get accused of being kind of moderate and center. I plead guilty.
Now Hillary Clinton is running for the Democratic Party's nomination to run for president. Some say she's been running for president since she stopped being First Lady and left the White House. Hillary has been accused of flip-flopping on issues. She likes to say that she evolves on issues. So let's look at some important issues she's had to deal with and see how she has evolved on them, beginning when she was still First Lady. Let's start with bankruptcy law. How fun, how fun. In the late 1990s, a bill was pending in Congress to severely restrict the right of people to file for bankruptcy. This bill was sponsored by the consumer credit industry, the big banks. Elizabeth Warren, who was then a professor of law at Harvard Law School, had written an article on the bill. Hillary had seen the article and met privately with Professor Warren to discuss the bill. In 2004, Warren told this story about it to Bill Moyers.
The credit card companies have been pushing to try to tighten the bankruptcy laws. So they were trying to get the bankruptcy laws constricted, so that fewer families could get in. Why? Because you can make more money if those families don't go into bankruptcy, if you're a credit lender. This would fall disproportionately hard on women who were raising families and who would be put in the position under this bill of trying to compete with Citibank, MasterCard, Visa, Bank One for getting alimony and child support from their ex-husband.
In a private meeting with First Lady Hillary Clinton, Professor Warren explained the complexities and effects of the bankruptcy bill to her.
And she got it. And she said, Professor Warren, we've got to stop that awful bill.
They were supporting the industry, and because of her...
President Clinton had been showing that this was another way that he could be helpful to business. It wasn't a very high visibility. The last bill that came before President Clinton was that bankruptcy bill that was passed by the House and the Senate in 2000, and he vetoed it. And in her autobiography, Mrs. Clinton took credit for that veto, and she rightly should.
This is an example of Hillary Clinton at her finest. She learned how bad that bill was and how much it would hurt ordinary people if it became law, and she lobbied the White House, lobbied the president, her husband, to veto the bill. Isn't this what we want in our leaders? Of course it is.
She turned around a whole administration on the subject of bankruptcy. She got it.
And then
Hillary was elected to the U.S. Senate.
One of the first bills that came up after she was Senator Clinton was the bankruptcy bill. This is a bill that's like a vampire. It will not die. She voted in favor of it. It's a well-financed industry. The credit card companies have been giving money, and they have influence. She has taken money from the groups, and more to the point, she worries about them as a constituency.
So what does this mean, though, to these people, these millions of people out there whom the politicians cavort in front of as favoring the middle class, and then are beholden to the powerful interests that undermine the middle class?
The credit industry on this bankruptcy bill has spent tens of millions of dollars lobbying, and as their profits grow, they just throw more into lobbying for how they can get laws that will make it easier and easier and easier to drain money out of the pockets of middle-class families.
That vote on that bankruptcy bill is an example of the strongest force on Hillary's evolving on positions, and that is money. If you go no further in this video, the clips we have just seen tell the story of Hillary Clinton evolving from the First Lady who cared about ordinary people and families and worked to protect their best interests, to Hillary, the politician, who cares more about the best interests of wealthy corporate donors than about ordinary people and families. More on that later. In Part 2, we will look at another reason why Hillary changes her positions on issues.